All right, so we're gonna react to a Piers Morgan video. He's having on the critical drinker and nerdrotic, which is interesting. Uh, it's one of those things where it's like the fact that like a mainstream sort of like politics like like show would like bring on somebody from like our sphere of YouTube or whatever is just inherently interesting. So let's see what they have to say. I guess they're gonna talk about the Oscars or something.
Well, the Barbenheimer beef dominated Hollywood all year, but last night's Oscars saw a knockout blow in
Ooh.
the cinematic tussle of our age.
Oh my
Oppenheimer
gosh.
sweeping the ball, winning Best Director, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, and Best Picture, and others. Barbie, on the other hand, dying like a dog, winning only one gong. From
Oh
eight
my
nominations.
gosh. Wait, was the Barbenheimer thing? That wasn't even a beef. Was it? That was like a all tides or raise all ships or however that saying goes. Was it ever even a beef? Wait, what? Like it was literally like the whole point of it was you went to go see both movies in the same weekend. I don't This is like a weird rewriting of history. Wait, what?
The solitary win was Best Song for Billie Eilish's What Was I Made For, which you could have said about the movie itself, in my estimation. Unfortunately, Ryan Gosling films.
Oh, does he just not like Barbie? Wait, oh my gosh, is Piers Morgan just like, is he like secretly mad that Barbie made more money or something?
Leading Man managed to show this wasn't even the best song in Barbie.
True!
Barnstorming live performance.
That's true! That's actually true! I Am Ken that should have won best song. True.
Of I'm Just Ken. So did the dreaded patriarchy have the last laugh in this battle of the blockbusters? And is this the year that finally proves...
Wait, what is happening? Wait, what? I'm so confused. Wait, are they trying to like... Are they trying to make the case that like Oppenheimer winning Best Picture is like a blow against Barbie because oh man win Best Picture, so Barbie and the message that it had is null and void or something? Is that what are we? Oh, this is gonna be the dumbest video I've ever seen. I think I don't. What the hell is happening?
Enough. I like what they've done there. Of woke Hollywood. Joining me to debate the biggest night in Hollywood. It's my Oscar.
What are we talking about here? Wait, first of all, how did you get in here, sir? Like, okay, this is so stupid. If like, if we're gonna say anything, if we are gonna make a Barbie and Oppenheimer beef, and we're talking about whether or not woke Hollywood will or won't end, what movie made more money? What? It's an important question. What movie made the most money? Spoiler alert. Not Oppenheimer. Like what are we talking about here?
Super PAC, Esther Krakau and Ava Santina, and two titans of the YouTube movie community, the critical drinker.
Oh my god, is this gonna be like a stupid like we're the feminist guys and then look we're the opposite side, we're the anti-feminist buzz. This is gonna be cancer, I can tell. I feel like I anticipate that I'm gonna this is gonna be like that Norm McDonald meme. Let me see, what is it? Let's see if I can find it. Norm McDonald, everyone in this story, that's it. It's gonna be like this.
Now this might strike some viewers as harsh, but I believe everyone involved in this story should die.
That's how I'm anticipating this is gonna go. Let's see.
And Nerdrotic. Well, we are honoured to have you two gentlemen. Thank you very much indeed. Equally honoured to have you two ladies here, my resident Barbies. Let me start.
Actually, I'm less honored to have them because they are women. Haha.
Critical drinker, if I may, with you. So this might be heresy, but I absolutely loathed everything about Barbie. I
Oh
loathed
my
what
gosh.
it stood for. I loathed what it was. I tried to wade through it and found it unwatchable,
What?
man-bashing tosh. But I also found Oppenheimer, and this might be heresy,
Oh my
a
gosh.
beautifully made film,
Oh, well.
brilliantly acted film, but way too long and bordering on boring.
Oh, I mean, well, okay. I don't think it was boring. But it's also like, it's one of those weird things where it's like, so I like the movie overall, but I do feel like a lot of people's like position on it is like a little bit like, I don't know about that. Like people look at Oppenheimer, and they're like, yes, this is cinema. Cinema is back. A long 3-hour biopic is back. The Marvel is dead. Blah 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 blah. And it's like, well, like Oppenheimer is good, and this isn't to discredit it, but it's also like probably like the most like made for the masses, like popular, like mass market friendly, like 3-hour biopic that you could get. Like the editing in the movie is it feels like it's like it has like the most like zoomer editing, like every 5 seconds there's a cut every 5 seconds. Oh, scene here, and that's fine. Like I'm not saying it's edited badly, because I think it makes it engaging, but like it's like I kind of disagree when people are like, cinema is back now because of Oppenheimer, and it's like, I mean, if you consider that to be cinema, like that's fine, but like Oppenheimer making almost $1 billion, which in my opinion is in part because of Barbie and the Barbenheimer movement. Like that obviously didn't translate to something like Killers of the Flower Moon becoming successful. But I mean, I kind of went on a tangent. Didn't have anything to do with Piers was talking about, but who cares?
Your thoughts?
Well, I think that's pretty much par for the course when it comes to Christopher Nolan movies, but it seems like it's just a sign of the times, in that perhaps if Oppenheimer had been released in a different year when there was stronger competition, it might not have fared so well. But it just seems like
No, I mean, I think that, I mean, hey, like I'm not to say, that's not to say that like Barbie is the only reason it made money. Like Christopher Nolan movies made money, but like they make money. But like, I think that if Oppenheimer didn't release next to Barbie, and the Barbenheimer thing didn't happen, I honestly think that I honestly think that it would have made something like maybe like $600-700 million, which is still great. Don't get me wrong, like it's still amazing for a movie like that. But I do think that the Barbenheimer thing is really to like that's where you point to when you look at how much money it made. Like I don't know that many people in like your general audiences that are like that are gonna get your movie to $1 billion. I just don't know if they're like, I don't think they're thinking the same things as like film Twitter, where they're going like, cinema's dying. I'm not getting my quality films anymore. Oh, thank you, Christopher Nolan and Oppenheimer, for delivering me true cinema. Like I don't know that most people have this mentality.
that was really what it was up against. You know, it was a sign of the low quality, the low bar that Hollywood had set for itself last year, that Oppenheimer really was the best of the bunch. Yeah, it probably was a bit too long and possibly a bit too self-indulgent in places, but it was not a great year for movies. And so I think the Oscars this year, it's probably an example.
If you look at the other movies that were released last year, which listen, I'm not gonna pretend to be like an Oscars fucking like I didn't watch a bunch of the movies that were released last year, but I mean, Poor Things was phenomenal. Like I would not have been mad if that won. You know, I didn't watch Killers of the Flower Moon, but is that not an example of what he's talking about? Or I don't know, maybe he hates Killers of the Flower Moon. You know, I didn't watch Anatomy of a Fall, but you know, from what I hear, that movie's phenomenal. Like I don't necessarily agree. Like here's the reality of the reality here, right? I feel like most people that complain about movies, like, oh my gosh, movies are so bad now. It's like, Like, did you even watch most of the movies that were nominated for Best Picture? Like, that's always a question that I want to ask these people. It's like, did you watch all those movies? Like, maybe you did, and if you genuinely come to the perspective that even these movies that are like the best of the bunch, or at least considered the best of the bunch by the Academy, even these movies kind of suck ass. I mean, fair enough then. Maybe that's your perspective, but it is. I do think it's telling, right? Like that, like a lot of these guys, they spend like most of their time like complaining about like Marvel movies or whatever, and I wonder. It's like, do you guys watch anything else? Because it's like we could agree that Marvel's quality has gone down. I don't know if I can make the same argument for Star Wars, because it's like, what did we have before the prequels? but it's like this is also something that I ask myself as well. And this is a genuine question, right? Like, I feel like it's almost impossible to really know the answer to this question, but like, is it really the case that movies are so much worse now than in the 80s? Or is it that there are far more movies that are made every year now than there ever have been in the history of cinema, and B, we just remember the good movies from the 80s. Like, we only remember the classics. And we go, man, things were so much better then. When it's like, for every Star Wars, there were like 10 stinkers, right? For every Indiana Jones, there were like 10 stinkers. Like, I do wonder that. This is just something that I wonder. Like, is it really the case that movies are so much worse now than they were before? I don't know.
Example of playing it safe and picking the logical choice, because it was pretty much the best that we got last year.
And Drotti, I mean, if you extend the safety thing to the event itself, you know, if you compare it to when Ricky Gervais hosted the Globus, for example, and spray gunned everybody. Now, Jimmy Kimmel was pretty tame, I thought. The show itself was fine, but I found having 5 previous winners coming up for all the main categories and paying unctuous homage to the new winner.
I mean, Jimmy Kimmel is just like the most boring human being to have ever existed. Like, I don't like, this is another thing as well. Can we get like somebody to host the Oscars that actually likes movies? Because that's just like something that I feel like as well. Like, I don't feel like Jimmy Kimmel likes movies. it feels like he's like the only reason why he's even like hosting the awards. The show is just because nobody else wants to do it because they're too scared to get canceled. Which is fair enough. But you know who I think would be a good choice? Like Dylan Mulvaney. Like his little speech was actually really good. I wonder if he could do it. And he's like a comedian that I think's already been canceled, so it's like, would he even care? Like, if somebody tried. So I think maybe get somebody like Dylan Mulvaney. You know who I'd love to see host the Oscars one year? Get Key and Peele. Jordan Peele and Keegan-Michael Key. Get them back together. Get them to host the Oscars. Because they're obviously both involved in the industry. Keegan-Michael Key, Jordan Peele. he's like one of the biggest directors right now. And like, I feel like that's the way that you should go. Jimmy Kimmel is just the most boring human being to ever exist.
And the candidates, the nominees, I found all that got very, very nauseating quite quickly, and it kind of said to me that with that and the fact that no one dares make any speeches now which are remotely political, with one exception, I think, of a director. Other than that, everybody stayed on.
I mean, I also just feel like that's not, is that even the place for the Oscars? Like, do they need to get political? Is that necessary? I feel like that's just not what the show is for. Now, like, I think the guy that made that impassioned speech, political speech, I think that's just because his documentary was about that. So, hey, if you make like a super political movie and you want to get up there and say something about what your thing is about, I think that's perfectly fair. But like, did Christopher Nolan, like, did he need to get up there and make a statement about Israel and Palestine? Is that his place? Is that like do we really need to know what Christopher Nolan has to say about it? Now, if he decides to make a movie and about the situation or something like that, and that's like something that he's passionate about, sure. But it's like, does the Oscars need to get more political than the subject matter of the movies that are being nominated? I don't know that it does.
On safe script. It's just, again, the Oscars have got very safe and I would argue boring.
Yeah, that's the worst criticism I have for him. It was just a slog. And the 5 actors coming out, and it was so.
I mean, I thought the actors coming out and saying things about the people that are nominated, I thought that was kind of cute. I mean, it's one of those things where I think it helped when it was obvious that the guy talking actually knew the person that was being nominated, and it felt like super sincere. It definitely is the case that some of the some of the people just like I don't think really had like a connection with the person being nominated, and so it felt like they were just blabbing, they were just yapping. Others made the most out of it, like Nicolas Cage, where it's like he probably didn't know fucking the guy, but he was funny. He's Nicolas Cage, so it worked.
Pretentious and cringe. I couldn't get through it, and I had to actually stop watching it at some point. And it's really hard for Hollywood.
I mean, I feel like that's a bit of an exaggeration. It's like it was okay.
To fight this giant disconnect they have with their audience when you come out and do something like that. But that, honestly, least offensive thing they've done in a while, and it's clear that they had a talking to. There was, because this is it's a pretty hyper political year, and for them to be quiet was definitely the producers saying tone it down until the end, when they completely blew it and told half their audience that to F off anyway, which is the biggest problem Hollywood has.
What did they do? Oh, was it are they going to bring up the Trump thing maybe?
And
right, let's see.
They just don't understand to this day that their disconnect is something that it's never mentioned in the press. It's never mentioned anywhere really with the audience and how many people they've driven away. I think I don't know if the ratings are going to be great for this. I think they'll be minimal, but it was just boring and pretentious. And I think
well, I think as far as the ratings go, let me see. This is actually probably a good thing to bring up. Oscar ratings, maybe? Is that a thing? Do we have? Okay, well, this is best in 4 years. The ratings are in for Hollywood's biggest night. While the Oscars are no longer a blockbuster, they did pretty well. In fact, the ratings went up this year. Gino Salomon. Wait, what? Well, I guess they went up. So I don't know if that's good. Or, I mean, I guess that's good, but I don't know what it actually is. I thought I read that they were like 19 million or something, but I just want to know for sure. Sunday's telecast had 19.5 million people watching, a 4-year high, and up from 18.8 million a year ago. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Oh, okay. So I want to know like what, like, cause I don't really keep track of like live events. But I mean, just to compare to other things, I guess it says last month 16.9 million people watched the Grammys. So more people watched the Oscars than the Grammys, I guess. So I guess. Okay, so I guess it's like better than the Grammys, but worse than like football. Which I mean that makes sense because I think like football stuff is like the most viewership that any like TV broadcast gets. For years, the Academy Awards was frequently the second most watched television program of the year behind the Super Bowl. Okay, interesting. Until 2018, the Oscar telecast had never fallen under 30 million viewers. Oh, okay, yeah, so it's definitely down. I see. Interesting. Oh, so they okay, yeah. So it's I mean it's bad. Okay, I see. At least as far as other stuff is concerned. But then I also wonder, like, is it also just a sign that like a lot of people are just like don't have cable? Because bro, for like the past 4 years, I've had to do like I've had to make like I've had to get like free YouTube TV subscriptions. I've had to this year I got a free Fubo TV trial. That's how I've been having to watch the Oscars because I don't have cable. So I feel like that probably has a lot to do with it. I don't know. Oh yeah, it says this as well. The movies and their makers aren't entirely to blame. The generational shift to streaming and other video forms has gutted broadcast television viewership, and few live events other than the Super Bowl draw the sort of audiences they once did. So I mean, I don't know, like the people down here, I feel like they're maybe focusing a little too much on the whole like the social aspect of it, because I mean whenever I go on Twitter, like it's one of those things where it's like people always talk about how much they don't care about the Oscars, but then like you go on Twitter and it's like people are always talking about the Oscars. People are always talking about how the wrong movie won, or the right movie won. My movie won. Yeah, blah blah blah. Like I don't know. I think the Oscars are still like fairly relevant. I don't know that. But for sure, I think it absolutely is the case that they should have they should put it on Netflix or something. I think that's fairly obvious.
Dying old it's a 20th century model that's just had its time.
Right. Ava, I mean, Barbie getting flatlined by a movie about an atomic bomb, I found personally quite satisfying. And also the fact that the biggest star of the night connected to Barbie was, of course, Ken, Ryan Gosling. I thought he did the best show with his little performance, is brilliant, but mainly because he has Slash next to him, not Barbie. You know, you replace Dumb as a Rock Barbie with Slash, one of the great guitar heroes of all time. Suddenly the whole thing works, right? And I'm seeing a sequel which will be called simply Ken, and will have dozens of other Kens who are all brilliantly talented and world leaders in all the things that they do. And there'll be one woman, a token Barbie, who's going to be dumb and sits in the corner, and we just laugh at women for the entire 2 hours. How do you think that would go down?
Well, I'm sure that a lot of women will go to watch that, and I'm sure that it'll make...
I don't know what is like Piers Morgan is being really weird. What the fuck? He's I have to say, like, the amount of people that I guess thought that like Barbie was like a man-hating woman or like a man-hating movie is so weird to me. Like, did you watch the movie? Like, did you actually watch the movie? Because I sincerely don't understand how you can watch that movie and think it's man-hating. Like, well, what the hell?
Make a lot of very clever movie execs a lot of money. But look, you know, I don't really understand why you think I love Barbie or want to speak up for it. You know, what I do care about is what I do care about is that Greta Gerwig is routinely looked over. I mean, she made Little Women a few years ago, and that should have been Oscar. That should have been Oscar nominated because it was a fantastic production.
Ooh, yes, get the cat fight. Yeah, let's go.
To show that women are left out of the conversation because a lot of the time.
Cringe. See, I hate everybody. What are you talking about? There was a woman nominated for Best Director. What are you fucking what? What the fuck? Hold on. Best Director Oscar nominees. Isn't Justine Triet? This is a female, I believe. Woman? Yes, I do think so. Hold on. I shouldn't assume though. Is Justin Triet gender? Hold on. Let's make sure. Okay, she is a female. She's a female. She's nominated for Best Director.
Men don't think that it's worth their time to watch a quote-unquote women's film, and I mean it was enjoyed by women all over the world.
If women produce good content,
I mean, I feel like guys watched Barbie, didn't they? I mean, I'm sure it was skewed towards women, but I don't know. I watched it. It's like when your movie makes like what did it make, like $1.5 billion or something. That's not all going to be driven by women.
Content, they'll get all the accolades. I don't understand this obsession
What's your bar for
with Barbie, because Barbie as a character is quite unlikable. She's a complete bitch. She's a rude cow. She treats Ken horribly. I don't understand why you're having this
Totally agree.
horrible plastic person being kind of the echelon.
It's almost like that's the point of the movie where she learns her lesson. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Or the upper echelon of the ultimate woman. It's ridiculous. So apart from the fact that she's a horrible character, the film was trash, they spent more money on the marketing than the actual content production, which shows a lot.
Is that true? What the fuck? What's the budget on Barbie? Barbie. I mean, that's not, by the way, that's not even like it's like, well, say what you will about Barbie. It looked really great. Like, this is the set design and all of that. Like, I don't even know what. I don't know what even point that's trying to make, but Barbie budget, $145 million. What did they spend on the advertising budget? Jesus, $150 million. That's interesting. But I mean, 140. I mean, that don't get me wrong. That is a massive budget, but when we get into the whole thing of like fucking like Marvel and DC and blah blah blah, it's like that's not that much. But although, hold on, what am I saying? For what Barbie is, that is a lot of money. Like, most of that money was probably spent on like Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling's fucking paychecks.
You know, this idea that women always have to be nominated or you always have to have some diverse category to show that there's progress is ridiculous. This is why Hollywood has suffered so much. Hollywood has had bad film years. In 2001, when Halle Berry won the Oscar, it was a pretty slow film year. But you couldn't argue that the content was terrible. Now the content is terrible because you can't make anything that you want to, because everything has to have some diversity.
This is stupid. I mean, I don't know. Like, are like I don't like again. Like, are you? And maybe she sincerely holds this opinion, but let's just go. Let's just look. Let me see. Hold on. Oscars nominees 2024. Like, let's just go through the list. Okay, So Oppenheimer, was Oppenheimer terrible? Maestro, I didn't watch it. Is that really like that bad? Rustin, I didn't watch that. Is that really that bad? The Holdovers, is that bad? Is that not good? Is American Fiction bad? Is Killers of the Flower Moon bad? Barbie, like, I've seen it. It's not terrible. Like, it's not. Poor Things, it's not bad. That's really good. Not yet. I don't watch it, but whatever. Anatomy of a Fall, like, is that bad? I haven't seen it, but I've only ever heard good things about it. Like, I don't know what. Like, The Color Purple, I didn't see that, but people say that the remake is really good. So, is The Boy and the Heron bad? Elemental, I'll be honest. Like, I know a lot. This is like a mixed reception movie at best. I did not mind Elemental. Nimona, I haven't seen it, but I've heard that's good. Robot Dreams, I didn't see it. I've heard it's good. It's like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is really good. Sorry. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. So it's just like, I don't know, like, what, like, are we really sitting here and saying that, oh yeah, these movies are just terrible? Like, I don't, like, actually just, like, if you're somebody that just, like, maybe listens to, like, political pundits like this talk about how bad Hollywood is, just sit down and watch some of these movies. Like, watch Poor Things. Watch Poor Things and come back to me and tell me that is those are people that are being stifled in their creativity. Right? Watch Poor Things and tell me to my face. I'm just kidding. We're not ever actually going to meet in person. But tell me in the comments down below. Yeah. Oh yeah, Poor Things, no creativity. These people weren't able to express themselves. Like, what are we talking about here?
And even when you do, I want to bring in critical drinker again, because it seems to me the movie I've most enjoyed going to the movies to watch was Top Gun Maverick. Now, I am old enough to remember.
No offense, but I feel like, and this isn't a bad thing, right? This isn't even to like discredit him or anything, but he does come off as kind of a normie here. when he's like, Oppenheimer's boring. Barbie sucked. They just hated women the whole time. No, Top Gun Maverick. It's a film right there.
Remember the first one, which I absolutely loved. And rather like The Godfather, the sequel more than lived up to the hype and was as good, if not better, than the first one. But I took two of my sons, rite of passage. We ended up punching the air, shouting. It was like one of the best afternoons out we'd had in a long time. A big cinema, watching it in all its glory. And that didn't win Best Picture. And I'm like, well, why doesn't a movie like that win Best Picture? Why don't you just...
Because it wasn't the best movie of the year? What won Best Picture that year? What? Oh God, I'm losing all sense of it because that was 2022. 2022 Oscars Best Picture. Oh, well, okay. I liked Coda, but okay, that's a weird win. I really liked Coda. Coda's a good movie. I mean, I think it's better than Top Gun Maverick, but that is a year where it's like, okay, is that really what should have won? Let me see what was nominated that year. Best Picture. Okay, I didn't see Belfast. I didn't see Don't Look Up. Oh yeah, I did see Don't Look Up. This movie wasn't very good. Okay, well yeah, like Dune was nominated that year. I mean, Dune is kind of a terrible movie, but I feel like if King Richard was better than Top Gun Maverick, but I feel like if you're gonna soy out and be like, oh, why did Top Gun Maverick not win? It's like, well, don't most people, wouldn't they have gone for Dune maybe? Let's see, King Richard I thought was better than Top Gun. I didn't see Licorice Pizza. Oh, West Side Story was way better than fucking Top Gun. Wait, is this? Am I looking in the right year though? Wait a second. I feel like hold on. Because I feel like Top Gun Maverick was nominated. Oh, I'm so stupid. I'm sorry. If the movie comes out in 2022, it's going to come out. It's going to be in the 2023 Oscars. I'm stupid. I'm a dum-dum. I'm a dummy-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Hold on. I'm stupid. Let's go down here. Okay, Top Gun Maverick was nominated. Hold on. I acknowledge it. I'm an idiot. Okay, let's go back through these. Okay. Oh, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Oh, I'm sorry. Leagues ahead of Top Gun Maverick. What the hell are you talking about, Piers Morgan? All Quiet on the Western Front. That was better than Top Gun Maverick. Okay, I didn't really like Avatar: The Way of Water that much. Banshees of Inisherin, way better than Top Gun Maverick. Elvis, I feel like both movies are kind of like soy movies that I don't like, that I think are kind of underrated. I don't know, Top Gun Maverick and Elvis are like a little interchangeable between me. Fablemans was okay. Tar was way better than fucking Top Gun Maverick. I didn't see Triangle of Sadness or Women Talking. Okay, you know what? Listen. Yeah, the right movie won this year. Sorry, Piers.
Sometimes Hollywood just sit back and go, we're going to give it to the film that actually most enthralled people. Not the one that preached to everyone, like Barbie, and tried to make everyone hate men, but actually, or one that was just so worthy, it almost ate itself.
That's not how it works. Each individual person gives their subjective opinion when they vote. What are you talking about? Like, this is also just the weird thing that we fall into, where it's like, I'm going to mind read the voters, and I'm going to assume why they voted the way they did. It's like, they just thought, maybe they just thought that movie was the best movie. Is that not possible? Is that truly not possible?
In syrupy worthiness, like Oppenheimer, brilliantly made though it was, why not give it to a movie like Top Gun Maverick, as they used to give it to Rocky 1 or, The Godfather, these great classic films that stood the test.
Rocky is like a fantastic film. It is far better, far more like emotionally compelling, far more poetic than fucking Top Gun Maverick. So is The Godfather. Yeah, I feel like I don't know. Okay, so here's the thing, right? I wonder if like I wonder like how the critical drinker and Nerdrotic are gonna respond to this, because I feel like their audiences are kind of like they hate the Oscars or whatever because it's woke. But I feel like Piers Morgan is just kind of yapping, and he's not necessarily like. I feel like he's coming at this from a very normie perspective, so I wonder how they're gonna answer here.
That's the time.
I think the Academy traditionally looks down on these big pop culture, popcorn blockbuster type movies, and so they tend to get overlooked as not being worthy enough of an Oscar.
Wasn't the Lord of the Rings won a bunch of Oscars, right? I mean, it won a bunch of Oscars. It looks like it won Best Director, Best Cinematography, Best Picture, Best Screenplay. I think the Oscars will nominate a big plot like popcorn movie. You just have to make one that's worthy, which Top Gun Maverick just isn't. Right? Like I hate it, but I guarantee you that Dune 2 is gonna win an Oscar. Like it's gonna be nominated for Oscars. It might not win, but it's gonna be nominated for Best Picture, Best Screenplay, Best Director. It most likely will sweep it, but also as well. But and by the way, I didn't even love Dune 2. But like you just have to make a movie where people watch it and they go, that's the best picture of the year. Like I don't know that that's true. Because it's like name me movies, like name me popcorn movies that should have won that didn't win. Like, are you gonna tell me that like Captain America: Civil War should have seriously been nominated for Best Picture? I was like, I love me some Captain America: Civil War, but I'm like I don't know that should have been nominated for Best Picture. Like I don't know. Like honestly, like if any like popcorn movie should have been nominated for Best Picture this year or last year, should have been Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. But y'all aren't ready for that conversation.
And when you look at things like Rocky, as you gave an example, that was a low-budget movie at the time. Sylvester Stallone was an unknown actor, and so it really was like this,
Well, yeah, but then it made a bunch of money, I would assume, and it became a popcorn movie.
Million to one shot. There was a story associated with that. With something like Top Gun Maverick, fantastic movie, a great example of catering to your audience. Barbie is a great example of trying to cater to the female audience. It's very female-oriented, obviously. Top Gun Maverick, the exact opposite. Very much skewed towards a male audience. They understand what men are looking for. You know, they want to see the technology, the fighter jets, the awesome pilots doing what they do, the patriotism, the sort of pro-America stuff, all great stuff. It just understands exactly what the audience wants, and it gives it to them in spades. Is it an Oscar-worthy movie? Possibly not. Who cares? No one cares what the Oscars do anymore. They're largely
well, that's
irrelevant
really interesting.
anyway.
I mean, I just don't think that that's true. When you go on Twitter. Well, okay, to be clear, like yeah, is your average person being like, oh, what are the Oscars really think was the best picture? It's like, yeah, probably not, but I mean, I feel I guess what I'm saying is that a lot of the people on Twitter that say they don't care definitely do care because they spend a lot of time complaining about it.
Yeah. I mean, also, let's talk about the host for a minute, Jimmy Kimmel and Nerdrotic.
Sucks.
I don't
Get
know,
him out
there
of
were
here.
some moments, there was one joke he did that hasn't really been picked up, but it was aimed at the German actress who was up for one of the awards. And he said this.
Sandra Hüller, 2 movies. Sandra plays a woman on trial for murdering her husband in Anatomy of a Fall, and a Nazi housewife living next to Auschwitz in The Zone of Interest. And while these are very heavy subjects for American moviegoers, in Sandra's native Germany, they're called rom-coms.
I gotta say, I thought that.
Am I stupid? What is the joke there? Wait, am I stupid? Is that just like a rom-com because the Germans not take the Holocaust seriously or something? Or I honestly might be a moron. I feel like I don't understand the joke.
That really missed the mark for me. And she looked very awkward and embarrassed by that. Am I wrong to be thinking that was actually pretty unacceptably offensive?
I don't worry so much about offense as Jimmy Kimmel not being funny at all. I think his presence offends me as he pretends to be a comedian. As you said, Piers, it's such a safe move to have him there. That one joke, I think his worst joke was at the end when he fell right into Trump's trap and read Trump roasting him.
Well, let's take a look. I'll tell you what. Let's take a look at that.
I feel like that's like one of those weird moments where it's like, "You have fell into my trap," and it's like, I guess I don't know that anybody won in that exchange.
Because actually, that was a very interesting moment. So he actually gets a message that Trump has posted on.
Trump has owned you.
He reads it out. Let's watch.
It's like, okay.
Has there ever been a worse host than Jimmy Kimmel at the Oscars? His opening was that of a less than average person trying too hard to be something which he is not and never can be.
So Nedronic, I mean, yeah.
Speaking facts, to be honest.
Right, he's entitled to have a white back, but it felt a bit self-indulgent to me doing that.
Yeah, he even acknowledged it, and he went ahead and did it anyway after he was criminally unfunny the entire night. And he's just a safe pick. He hasn't been funny in years. He's one of the worst hosts I've ever seen. All we kept on seeing on Twitter was clips from Oscar shows 20 years ago, and people going, remember when the Oscars were good? Remember when things were funny? We are so far.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't see any clip like that. I mean, I mean, obviously we all have different algorithms or whatever, but I didn't see anything like that. Why is my game so laggy? This is upsetting.
Away from that. They are so far away from their peak ratings. And I understand that they want to be safe now after, helping divide our country, playing into it for so long, especially during some strife. And you brought up Top Gun Maverick. Yeah, it should win Best Picture. It saved Hollywood. There's a couple movies that saved Hollywood. Yeah. Let's not forget, 2019 had not.
That's not the criteria. The criteria is not what material good won, or what did the most material good. The criteria for Best Picture is what is the best movie. So what are we talking about?
$9 billion films. Since then, they've had 6.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a good point.
But would Barbie not fit into that? Because was Barbie not a Hollywood safety?
Well, Barbie and Oppenheimer did very good box office. You can't deny that. I just hated the fact that millions and millions of women went out and had to hear the word patriarchy 11 times in a movie and were made to think all men are...
That's not what the point of the movie was! How do you watch Barbie and think that it's a man-hating movie? Do you like, I don't understand. It's so weird. How did it, it's like, I feel like Barbie is not a complex film. At least I didn't think it was, but I feel like I should get like an honorary PhD for apparently being the only fucking person that understands it. What the hell?
They're evil,
well,
right?
no, look,
and I love the fact that last night Ken has the last laugh. That just made me laugh.
Yeah, look, I don't like white.
It was funny.
It
yeah, I mean, that's sort of white
the biggest standout star last night was Ken, right? And Barbie is sat there like a grinning doll, doing nothing, winning nothing. Poor old Margot Robbie. All right, poor old Margot. She's made gazillions out of producing it. Well done, Margot. I think she's great. Love her personally. Great actress. But the Barbie play out last night was Ken's the ultimate winner. It's all about Ken.
Yeah, but it's not even, it's not the sort of feminism that we engage in regularly, is it? It's sort of white feminism, white rich person feminism.
Well, talking about, okay, how would you have felt if a naked woman had come on stage last night, clutching a little thing over her genital?
Listen, equal rights, am I right?
Natalia, and the whole joke was about her fact that she was topless and semi-naked. Because we saw John Cena doing it, right?
I would have called the police because clearly that's a mentally unwell person.
Now, if that had been a woman and I'd said, wow, she looks hot, you would have gone, you disgusting, objectifying pig. How dare you? Why are we not saying the same thing here?
I have to say that.
I mean, if we're going to say that, well, okay, Jesus Christ. This is all so stupid. I mean, listen, if like nobody forced John Cena to do it. Like, I don't know, like I think John Cena is just a man who is comfortable in his body because I mean, he doesn't have anything to not be be confident about, and he agreed to do a funny bit. I mean, I don't know, like it's like did like remember this scene? Hold on. Let me see. Peacemaker underwear scene. Underpants dance. I mean, I don't know. Like I think John Cena is just a man who's comfortable in his own skin. I don't know. The moral outrage around this is a little weird to me. I don't know.
That actually does make me feel quite uncomfortable. but
does it?
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah, but do we not? Was this not a thing of the early 2000s? Were we not doing this all the time? I mean, women were naked on page 3 in our newspapers.
I thought we'd all moved on. This was the whole point.
Well, but you know, men are having
so
their
women
moments.
can draw a naked
Men are
rat.
having their moments.
We can regress.
No, the truth is, Esther, the truth is that women have had it both ways. I'm sorry, as a breed, you've had this with stuff like, with the objectifying.
Breed.
Well, you're a breed, yeah. With the objectifying
Never gonna let that go.
with the objectifying debate of nudity, the way that women.
I hate everybody
absolutely
involved here.
fine.
This is so cringe. Am I? What is happening? I don't actually hate. I love all people. Okay, I don't actually hate anybody. To be clear.
To drool over semi-naked, naked blokes, right, in Hollywood or whatever it may be. But the moment a man does it over a woman, they have to be cancelled, expunged, and arrested.
I would completely disagree with that because all of the Sydney Sweeney narrative over the past week has been, oh my God, this woman is so beautiful.
True.
What is not acceptable is when men are like, I would.
She has, she brings up 2 very good points every time she speaks.
Like to do awful things to that woman. That's the
But I
sort of
see this
narrative
all the
that's
time
rallying
with
against.
women.
See, the thing is, women claim
What
to.
the hell?
Pole Dart. Remember Pole Dart?
How did I
Every
get
time
all
a new
this?
series of Pole Dart came out, there would be Aidan Turner with the kids
happening?
off, and women going, "What I do to Aidan Turner?" And we're all supposed to go, "Well, that's great."
Because it's
You know
not
why we say great?
threatening.
Because men don't care.
Because it's
Well,
not
but the thing
threatening.
is,
It's
Oh my God, it's fine to it's okay for people to be hot. It's so like yeah, like I don't know, like is this like a hot take? Like if like a woman came out with like 2 things covering her boobas and her kitty cat, who cares? I don't care. I cannot emphasize how much I just don't really care.
You can't have it both ways. With the whole Sydney Sweeney thing, yes, it's because she had her boobs out and she looked like she was auditioning to be a wet nurse. But the thing is, you can't have it because there were some men that were objectifying her, but everyone was celebrating it. But somehow, when it comes to men, it's basically a form of revenge. Women don't want to say it.
Are people not celebrating John Cena? What are you talking about? Literally, every time that like John Cena coming out naked is not humiliation. It's just another opportunity for people to go like, holy shit, John Cena is jacked. What are we talking about here?
But seeing men, objectifying men, or treating men in the dehumanizing way you don't want to see women being treated as, it's seen as a form of
And by
revenge.
the way,
but you got away with it.
But
for
here's
ages,
the
so here
secret,
you go.
Esther. Men don't care. If women want to
Yeah,
if women
come
want to
on, naked.
objectify me, objectify away. You'll make my day.
I could never do that, Piers.
And
That's a hate
women,
crime.
and most women I know, whether they want to admit it or not, like being objectified. If they're looking great, they like.
Oh
men
my
to
God.
go.
Fucking red pill Pierce? Hold on. I'm sorry. I thought I was watching Piers Morgan. I didn't realize I was watching an Andrew Tate video. Holy shit.
Wow.
But it's context, isn't
True.
there? There's context to that.
Really, what's the context?
Well, because if you're out and about and someone, is objectifying you in a nice way, then that's great.
What's positive objectivity?
How do you feel if a builder wolf whistles at you? How do you feel?
Fine with that.
Is that
Exactly.
I would say, okay, if we want to have like a serious conversation about this, I would say like a positive form of objectification or whatever would maybe be like your husband maybe being like, God damn, you look nice tonight or whatever. You're a hot piece of salmon right there, aren't you? As you can tell, I have all the riz in the world. Whereas because that like, oh, but like your husband like genuinely loves you. I guess like a bad form of objectification might be like some random guy that you don't know being like, oh hey, nice tits, bruh, nice tits. Come over here and give me the sloppy toppy. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Listen, I'm not a I'm not pretending here to be the fucking king of social politics. You know what I'm saying?
When has any woman in history ever been genuinely upset by a bunch of builders?
You don't want to feel threatened by a man, right?
I agree. No, I agree.
If it was late at night and then a man is wolf whistling at you,
I'm talking about purely the objectification debate. Let me bring the guys back in who are being objectified by their absence from this debate.
What is happening?
Let me talk to you, Critical Drinker, about Robert Downey Jr. and a quip that Jimmy Kimmel made about his drug taking.
Oh, yeah.
This is the highest
Oh, yeah, this was
of
cringe.
Robert Downey Jr.'s long and illustrious career. Well, one of the highest.
Here's the thing. Oh, I guess I'll let the joke. I'll let the joke go.
But Robert has been a. Was that too on the nose, or was that a drug motion you made?
He then made a very.
Yeah, it was just like. I mean, listen, as a comedian, go for it. Like, you can go for whatever joke you want, but it's like when it falls flat, it's like don't keep going. It's just so weird. Why did he keep going?
Odd joke about whether he had a rectangular penis. It was all very bizarre. But Downey Jr. didn't look very amused by that. And I'm not surprised, really. If you've come back from drug addiction, and this is your greatest moment as an actor, your first Oscar, do you really want a guy cracking jokes?
Is it your greatest moment? I thought the Oscars didn't matter. I thought nobody cares about the Oscars, but apparently it's his greatest moment in the world. Apparently it's a big deal that, oh, look, Christopher Nolan won his first Oscar, but simultaneously the Oscars don't matter. Blah, 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 blah.
Drug taking?
Yeah, I mean, Robert's trying to laugh it off there, and hopefully they were going to move on quickly. But it's probably just another example of Jimmy falling on his arse as a comedian and as a host.
Arse?
Like, that was a poorly judged joke. It didn't really land. You could tell people weren't really loving it, and it just felt like a bit mean-spirited considering, this was Robert winning an Oscar that night. So, yeah, poorly judged. I wouldn't have done it. Didn't feel necessary, and it wasn't funny in the first place.
No, Drotty.
Not funny,
Generally
didn't
about
laugh.
the Oscars. We've touched on this, but I remember watching them when I was young, when David Niven might host it or Billy Crystal or whatever. It always felt incredibly glamorous. One thing that struck me last night, I never once felt like I was watching a glamorous event. It was almost like the magic had slightly disappeared from the room, perhaps never to come back. I mean, is it that we know too much about these people now, that social media has drained any of the mystique out of Hollywood stars? What is it that's taken the magic away?
I mean, that's probably part of it.
Oh, I think you hit it right there. We know them now. These used to be an event, and this was the only time we saw these movie stars, and we didn't see them tweeting about whatever politics all day long. So,
bro, you know who's like the biggest fucking Giga Chad? The guy who's playing Superman. This guy, hold on, let me see if I can find it. Like David Corin Sweat. Twitter? Is this it? David Corn Sweat. Bro. I guess bro, and like, did he ever, like, he just doesn't tweet. He tweets out like one emoji on June 27th of 2023. And then I guess he tweets out the Superman suit. absolute giga chad. More celebrities should do this, by the way. Like this is objectively the right way to go.
Was true. There was a novelty there. There was an event here in America. It was called the Gay Super Bowl. It was an event that people would actually sit around. I remember sitting around with my family and my friends watching. As the first two Lord of the Rings films lost Best Picture, which they should have won. But like that's when it was fun and things were good. As I said earlier, this is a 20th century model that I just think has had its time. And yeah, there are no movie stars anymore. There's no star that's going to fill the seats just based on their name. There used to be, but now it's the intellectual property, and that's even dying right now. So they're headed for a real tough time.
Yeah, I mean, who are the big movie stars? I mean, I would still say Tom Cruise is a bona fide movie.
The truth is that there was a point in time where you put Will Smith in your movie, it's gonna make like $80 million. Tom Cruise isn't that. Like his Jack Reacher movies, I don't think made a ton of money. The last Mission Impossible movie stumbled at the box office. Like I don't think that Top Gun Maverick was a massive success because of Tom Cruise. I just think it was the movie was a ton of fun. People really liked it. And it just hit at the right time. So I don't even think Tom Cruise is a big movie star. We saw with Black Adam, The Rock clearly isn't. Yeah, like I don't think that there are any actors that will sell a movie on their own.
He's from a different era.
Well, I wouldn't call him one of the great actors. I think he's one of the great movie stars.
Right, yeah. Well,
right?
I mean,
He's from a different era, but that's the thing.
But then I would say Ryan Reynolds and Margot Robbie, they get people to the
Ryan
cinema.
Reynolds is a movie star, and she is definitely a movie star.
I think the general thing is the sheen has worn off of Hollywood because we know them now because they're so overexposed on social media. We know their politics. We know.
I mean that's definitely true, but I think as far as why like actors don't draw people to movies anymore, I also just think that I also wonder if part of it is just the fact that there's just so much stuff to do now. We have video games, we have YouTube, right? You guys are obviously watching me instead of going to the movies. I just think that audiences, they need a reason to go to the movies. Like a lot of people aren't just going to go to the movies to go to the movies. I feel like that's probably a big part of it as well. But I think it's probably undeniable that due to like the new information age that like celebrities have absolutely lost a bit of their mystique. Like the fact that I can make a video and be like on the same platform as Piers Morgan and like put out a video on the same platform of Piers Morgan criticizing Piers Morgan. I mean that in and of itself, even Piers Morgan, his like movie stardom is like diminished in that way.
Know how they fundamentally look down on a lot of people, even if they don't feel like they are. So culturally, people have just disengaged.
You know who we don't know about? You know who's given no television interview in 45 plus years? Jack Nicholson.
Well, exactly.
And the reason he doesn't is he refused. I've tried everything. The reason he doesn't is that he believes it kills the mystique.
Yep, absolutely.
People shouldn't see the real you.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see you at a sporting event or something. He goes to the Lakers. I'm often there looking at him, trying to book him across the court. But he doesn't believe in doing interviews about himself on television.
He's completely right.
Well,
When you say they're overexposed, they're not also underexposed because the politics that they do give away is very controlled and it is quite controlled.
Well, no, because because you have to look at it from this perspective. You are a movie star. You're worth millions or hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't want to know your opinion on politics generally because we don't live the same type of life. No, but they live in the top 1%. They can be advocating for whatever they are, but for us, it's condescending because wait, you play pretend on TV and now you think you have extent.
Or you could just like, okay, that guy has that opinion. I don't care. I'll still watch art and separate art from the artist. Can we not do that as well? I don't know. Like, who cares?
extensive knowledge on politics.
I appreciate that when you're seeing,
And obviously that goes both sides of the aisle.
someone who is living like a billionaire's lifestyle and they're talking about climate change, it's frustrating. But then if you look at someone like Angelina Jolie, who spends a lot of time with the UN, is that not more interesting?
We know you for playing pretend. We don't know you because you're a doctor or a chemist or anything.
Then you get offered a platform, you know.
Well, but that's the thing. Don't abuse your platform by.
Let people talk. Who cares? Like, people can have their opinion on something, and then you can disagree with them, and nobody needs to get canceled. Nobody needs to get fired. I mean, obviously, if you go about it in like a really stupid way, and you're like purposely controversial, and you're like purposely stirring up controversy, at that point, right, like a Gina Carano situation, I'm not gonna have a ton of sympathy for you. But like, if somebody just has an opinion on climate change, I don't care. I don't care. It's like I'm still gonna watch the Avengers. I don't know.
My problem with that. Let me bring critical drinker into this debate, because I think my problem is it's fine if you want to use your platform as a movie star to opine about world events, fine. But what you can't be is deliberately, obviously excluding to ones that are just a little bit too uncomfortable for who your bosses might be. And I've really felt that this award season is that actually I don't want them pontificating about politics particularly at all. But it's been really noticeable, like I said earlier, that absolutely no star in Hollywood at any awards event has made any comment about the Israel-Hamas war. And that...
Do they have to? Is that relevant to the Oscars? Like, does Margot Robbie have to have an opinion on Israel and Palestine?
That, to me, has been really noticeable. And then it makes me think, well, how genuine and sincere have been their previous pronouncements about political issues, like Donald Trump, like whatever it may be? If you're not going to go...
Yeah, because they live in America. Of course they're going to have more of an opinion on Donald Trump than Israel and Palestine or whatever.
Go into the more difficult one, because it might harm your career in some way, because you see people getting cancelled. I think there's a real exposure of a virtue signaling mentality there.
I think so, yeah. With the Israel-Hamas thing, it's a much more divisive issue where people are generally split down the middle. If it's something like, I think Donald Trump is the worst president in history, whatever, that's a safe thing to say in Hollywood. Nobody in the industry is going to...
No, but that's my point. It's a safe thing to say in Hollywood, but it would be very divisive. I mean, I remember when I was at CNN debating gun control, for example, and it would get very, very heated and blew up a few times. But I would have big Hollywood stars who would agree to be interviewed and then cancel. I won't name them, because they say, look, Piers, I'd love to come on, but I would probably have to agree with you. And I'm a movie star, and a lot of my business is in Middle America, where they love guns, and I'm just not going to alienate half my audience. And I got that. I respected that. But what I find it hard to respect so much is that none of them are prepared to put their head over the parapet when it's a little bit too, controversial, potentially damaging to their careers.
Well, absolutely, yeah. And it's almost like they don't really care that much about any of this stuff. They want the superficial veneer of being concerned about these things and being virtuous, but only so far as it helps their...
I don't know, man. I'm not I don't know if I'm all that interested in like mind reading somebody. Like, I don't know if someone has an opinion, okay, you have an opinion. Good for you. Do you actually believe it? I don't know. Like, the only interesting conversation at that point to be had is, do I agree or disagree? I feel like that's, like, when somebody expresses an opinion, I feel like that's really all you can really do at that point.
Their career, and it allows them to toe the party line in Hollywood. If it goes against that, they will drop that like a hot brick. Of course they will, because it doesn't help them then. It's about appearing to be good. It's not about actually...
But yeah, I mean, I think he's probably right, he is right in the sense that, like Hollywood obviously does lean a certain way, but I think we're, like if you look at like Chris Pratt, I mean, he's like Christian or whatever. Like I've seen like Alan Richardson, Richardson, he He like does like Bible or like he does like YouTube videos for like a church. I remember seeing the other day he like popped up. So I mean I don't know that like I don't know that people would necessarily get fired if they just like happen to support Trump. Like when we look at a lot, I don't know. I mean maybe there are tons of examples that I can't think of, but most of the time, like when we look at like Gina Carano, for example, that's just like a relevant example that's propped up again. It's like Gina Carano got fired because she compared herself to Jews before the Holocaust. Like she said her opinion in the most inflammatory way that you could possibly think of making it. Like if she like her point was that guys, we need to treat each other as human beings and we need to not dehumanize each other. If she had just tweeted out like political tensions are too tense right now and we need to come to a better understanding, blah blah blah. She wouldn't nobody would have cared. I don't think she would have been gotten fired from The Mandalorian. But when she tweets out, remember when the Jews were dehumanized and that led to the Holocaust. That's what's happening now, guys. And then people like understandably were like, "What the actual F are you talking about, Miss Carano?" And then Disney was like, "Okay, yeah, that's the last straw. Like, like you're done." Like I don't know. Like I feel like also like it'd be interesting. Like if somebody came out like a celebrity and they were like, "I openly support Trump." Like, is it actually the case that they would get fired? Or is most of this stuff not just like the people that are doing things in the most extreme way possible? like are they not just kind of like screwing themselves over? Like we can have an agreement on whether or not or like we can have a disagreement on whether or not they should have been fired or whatever. But I do feel like it's a little bit more. It might be I think it's a little too simplistic to just be like, if you're a conservative, you're not going to be able to get any work in Hollywood, because I don't know if it's necessarily that extreme. But
like doing anything good.
I think you've touched on a good point. Are they willing to make sacrifices for what they really believe in? And that's the thing. If you told all these celebrities virtue signaling about climate change, actually no more private jets for you, they would shut up tomorrow. They're not willing to sacrifice anything. Talk is cheap, and you never see it more.
But not just that, even with Israel Gaza, as Piers was.
I mean, I don't know, like, I don't know anything about anything really. But isn't it the case that like most of the climate change has to do with like China and like factories and whatnot? Are private jets actually like huge contributors to the damaging the ozone layer or whatever? Is that the case? I don't know, maybe.
Talking about there, you look at Bella Hadid, and she's lost many modelling jobs because she has been
Charlotte
explicitly pro-Palestine. Yeah, so off the back of that, I think a lot of people.
That's true. Honestly, if anything, that's actually. Hold on, you know what? Like we did see that Melissa Barrera girl get fired just because she supported Palestine, right? Or am I? Or no, wait. I think she. Oh man, I think her Instagram post might have been a little. I think it might have been a little extreme now that I think about it. I don't remember. I'm gonna be honest. I think it might have been a little extreme.
So they have no convictions. So if you don't have any convictions about things that can actually cost you, why do you talk about anything else? Shut up.
I do think there's a point there.
Not you.
No,
I heard it as me. So
no, not you.
I just think the smart ones, you notice, just don't talk about politics very much. When did you last hear Tom Cruise make a speech at an award ceremony about anything political?
He's a Scientologist.
Yeah.
No.
He is. What do you mean?
No, he is. But when did he last talk about that? When did he last talk about that on a stage at an award ceremony?
Exactly.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
A lot of them have their weird little
Fair enough.
peccadillos, not least of which Scientology. But he doesn't talk about it at award ceremonies, and I think that's right. I just think once you do, you've got to be consistent. It's like all the people who have been, very, very angry, pro-Palestinian, anti-Israeli, but said absolutely nothing after October the 7th. Nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Sorry, can't respect that. I do if you said that was horrific. And by the way, I think what's happening now is, but not when you're selective in your
Piers
moral
Morgan
outrage.
owning
Let's end on a
the
happier light.
pro-Palestine guys or
We've
whatever.
come up with the Piersies. Well, I haven't, but one of my producers, Paul, who has a slightly inflamed, if not crazed mind, has come up with the Piersies. So this is just a series of quick, quiet questions. I want answers from all of you. They're pretty straightforward, but they do reveal a mindset, I think, about you, your character, and your view of movies and how they impact on life. So there are various nominations in each category. The first one is the best James Bond. And let's start with you, Critical Drinker. Connery, Moore, or Craig?
Connery. It's got to be. As a fellow Scot, I have to support him, and I think he embodied the masculinity of Bond, the danger.
What? You tell me Sean Connery wasn't British? He wasn't British. What the hell? They were already trying to make it woke and diverse back in the whatever that he was around.
The Menace.
Wait, am I stupid? Scotland is like, that's like a different country from Britain. Hold on. I'm second guessing myself. Scotland. What? What the hell? Wait, what is it? UK constituent country? What? Am I stupid? What the fuck is the United Kingdom? Is that not? The United Kingdom is a country. What the fuck is happening? Am I an idiot for not knowing this? The United Kingdom made up of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland? What? I thought wait, what the fuck? I thought England was just like another I thought England was the United Kingdom. You're telling me that England and is just like a part of Scotland or a part of the United Kingdom along with Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland? All right, I'm upset right now. I didn't know this. Listen, okay, nobody cares about Europe, okay? It's fair for me to not know this, okay? What the hell? Where are they? What is? Okay, you know what?
And the cool intellectualism.
Yeah.
You know that you're not a country, by the way. You're a fucking state. What is this constituent bullshit? Okay, never mind.
All of those things were in perfect balance with Connery.
Nodrodic?
Connery. Absolutely. I agree. I grew up with Roger Moore, but Connery was the more accurate, the better Bond.
Okay, Ava?
Don't ask me. I'm not good on Bond. It wasn't a film for me. It wasn't a film for me.
Even when Daniel Craig went all drippy and wokey.
I was, I'm a Pride and Prejudice, Little Women kind of girl. I go for the girly movie.
You can go and see them now. Bond's not allowed to seduce women.
Yeah, exactly. It's
he gets arrested now.
There we go.
And he can't shoot villains.
I'll tell you what, I'll love the first
it's bad
female
for their mental health.
Like that.
Definitely Connery. Craig lost it for me when he started crying.
See, I'm going to say more because when I was young.
I'll be honest. I've only seen like Skyfall and I think I've seen all of the Daniel Craig ones except for the last. No, except for like the was it Spectre or whatever, the one with like Dave Bautista. I never watched that, and I didn't see the last one. I don't know, and I haven't seen any of the other Bonds either.
I was actually people said I look like Roger Moore, and he also came up with the best line I've ever heard about. Doing sex scenes with Bond girls, and I said to him, I interviewed him for my Life Story show, and I said, "What's it like? It must be really difficult, you know." And he said, "Well, Piers, let me put it to you like this." He said, "I used to always go up to whichever lady it was before we started filming, and I'd say before the love scene, I'd say, I'd like to apologise in advance if I get overexcited." And then he said, and I'd pause and then say, and I'd also like to apologise if I don't.
Oh.
Wow, what a suave man, I guess.
That's a good way
Best Godfather installment. All right, Critical Drinker. 1, 2, or God forbid 3?
No one's going to pick 3. Come on. Probably 2. Just that balance of Pacino and De Niro in the same movie. Superb. The time jumps between the 1912s, the 1920s, and the present day in the 50s and 60s. Great. Seeing how Vito became the man that he was, fantastic. Like that the dual narrative works so well in that movie.
Nodrodic?
Part 1, Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
Because of Marlon Brando.
Yeah, he was fantastic in part 1. And actually, I would add James Caan, whose Sonny Corleone was one of the great characters. Never gets enough credit. Absolutely sensational.
Ooh, so good.
Okay, you two?
The first
Have you
one.
watched them?
I haven't watched the third one. I've watched the first and second installment. The
Which
first
one?
one because it had the most memorable lines. You know
Which
what I
one?
mean?
First one?
The first one, yeah.
Name a line.
Christmas, very drunk, 3.
Oh
What?
no! Oh no!
Really drunk,
Nobody
okay?
has ever said they prefer Godfather 3.
Drunk on
That's literally...
First time in
That
history.
is a
That's like
first.
saying, do you prefer Chateau Latour
It
or
starts
Chateau
a co-
Lafite?
no, but it starts
Actually, I
a
like a bit of
conversation.
Liebfraumilch.
It's like preferring Greece.
It's a
to
conversation,
Greece.
you know?
Yeah, horrific.
you're enjoying-
All right, that's horrific. Let's move on. Best director never to win an Oscar. So the nominations are Critical Drinker, Hitchcock, Kubrick, Tarantino, Ridley Scott. Incredible quartet of directors never to win an Oscar. Who's the one that should have done of those 4?
That's a tricky one. Kubrick is responsible
I mean, it used to be Nolan, right? As well, because before Oppenheimer.
for some of the most influential movies in the whole history of cinema. But my heart says Ridley Scott, just because I love Blade Runner so much, and Alien, both fantastic movies. So I'd go with
I feel like he's been slowly diminishing his reputation over the years.
him.
Okay. Nedrodic?
Kubrick, because I mean Hitchcock is the easiest answer, but Kubrick is a master, and he made his Stephen
Master
King
of
book
disaster.
better than the book.
Okay, I'm going to say Hitchcock. I
Ooh.
thought Hitchcock. The fact he never won an Oscar was outrageous.
That's actually.
I think he did end up getting something, but not as director. Then they gave him a lifetime achievement.
Listen,
But
I watched Psycho. It's the only Hitchcock movie I've seen. It's okay.
I mean, a masterful
I was
director.
going to say Tarantino, but that's because I find his films are the easiest to have like cult followings.
Yeah. Well, Pulp
Not
Fiction.
Greta Gerwig for you then, no?
No, absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
No. Have you got a? Do you even know who these
No, I'm
4
going, for, I'm going for secret option number 5, Miss Gerwig.
Oh my god, I mean she's just cringe. It's like I refuse to believe that this person isn't like a like I refuse to believe that this person isn't like a psyop. Like she's like a paid actress to be like a cringe feminist.
All right, best blonde bombshell. Here we go. Critical Drinker, Marilyn or Margot Robbie?
Oh, gosh. I've always got an eye for the classics, so I'm going to go for Marilyn.
Nedrodic?
Marilyn, all the way,
Ladies?
the original.
Margot, we share a bone structure.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, we share.
No, you do. Ava?
I go for Margot.
I'm actually, well, as a deciding vote, I'm actually going to cast Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
Ah,
Wow,
Yeah,
there
I
you go.
think
Great.
she's become the biggest female star in the world.
Yeah.
And I like the fact also there's a lot of brains behind the beauty.
Yeah.
That she set up this production company and that she's done brilliantly and she's making gazillions. I like that. Okay.
And she's alive.
Yeah, the last 2. Yeah, exactly.
That
Which
helps.
That always helps.
Which
yeah.
helps. All right, last 2. Best Rocky film. There have been 6 Rocky movies. So,
Yeah.
Critical Drinker, which one?
Man, this is a tough one because I love.
You know the only correct answer is 1. I feel like the Rocky movies they like start like at Oscar fucking Oscar Best Picture winner, and then they slowly get worse. You get all the way to 4, which I get. I understand that 4 has like a people like think it's like fun or whatever. That's fine, but like, are we really gonna sit here and say that like Rocky 4 is like a fantastic film in the artistic sense? Like, are we really gonna have this fucking debate? Like, I totally support you in having fun with it, but it's like, dude, are we really gonna sit here and say that it's like a fantastic film? And then again, I'm not talking about which one is the most fun or whatever, which one you have the most fun with, which one is the most camp 80s or whatever. But I do think it gets a little bit better with 5 in terms of being a compelling story. And then like Rocky Balboa gets a little bit better, and then you get to Creed when it gets back to being like an actually good movie, or an actually great movie. So it is funny how like I feel like the Oscar or the Rocky franchise is like a U, where it just like climbs its way back up.
Love Rocky 6. I love Rocky Balboa. I think that's such a beautiful way to end the series, and it really redeemed it after Rocky 5. But it's probably going to have to be Rocky 1, realistically. It's just got the absolute magic. It'll never be replicated.
Okay, Nedrodic?
Rocky 3.
Wow, Mr. T.
Love Rocky 3. Mr. T.
What's your prediction
All
of the
way.
fight? Pain.
Yes.
Love that. He was a great character. I mean, so was Dolph Lundgren in 4.
Yeah,
they had great villains. Esther?
Not my thing.
Not your thing?
No, not your thing. No.
Ava?
I'm scared to keep telling these men, but I hated Rocky. I'm so sorry. I'm so
You
sorry.
can't hate Rocky.
What is
so
wrong with
sorry.
you? Come on.
Why are you like this?
I'm being too honest. I'm so
didn't
sorry.
You
even
love
get inspired
Godfather
by the
3 and
first
hate
one.
Rocky. I mean, there's something actually wrong with you. I would say this about the Rocky. I once watched the first 4 back-to-back in the Uckfield Picture House cinema in East Sussex on the south coast of England. Took about 6.5 hours. One of the great 6.5 hours of my life. But gave me a great chance to watch them in sequence. And I always
I
thought...
still maintain that 2 is underrated.
2
as
is
well.
underrated, absolutely. And obviously ends the way you want it to end at the start of the first one. Rocky 1 is the most beautifully made film and thoroughly deserved winning Best Picture. And of course, it's an incredible story that Stallone turned down millions to turn down playing the role and let somebody else do it. They wanted to pay him not to be the actor. But he said, no, I'm going to be the star, and that's it. And it made him what he is.
Wow.
But I'm actually going to go with Rocky Balboa, the 6th one, because it was 20 years after the last one. Rocky 5, which no one's mentioned, was the sort of terminal disease, actually, of Rocky films. One of the worst things I've ever watched. But in Rocky Balboa, what I love was, I've got 3 sons in their 20s. The scene in the street when the spoiled brat son, which none of mine have been, but when the spoiled brat son finally winds up his dad enough that Rocky has it out with him in the street, and he does that speech about life is not a bed of roses, it's tough, and it will beat you down if you let it. And if you want to win in life, it's not how many times you can hit, it's how many times you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Wow.
That is one of the
I'm
great
inspired right
speeches
now.
in movie history. So for that alone,
The polar opposite of the Barbie speech.
correct.
by the way.
Thank you.
The absolute antithesis.
Thank you.
Wait, what? Isn't the Barbie speech... Isn't the whole point of Barbie also that you overcome the problems or whatever? Isn't that also the problem of Barbie? Or isn't that also the point of that speech? Was that Margot Robbie shouldn't just wallow in her sadness? Am I misremembering that? What are we talking about?
Of everything Barbie stands for. So I'm going Rocky Balboa, the 6th of the franchise. A final question, probably the most significant actually in terms of your character. The critical drinker, do you have your popcorn sweet, salted or mixed?
Whoa, that is a tough one indeed. I'm going to go for salted because I prefer salted stuff over like really sweet things. Same with my cocktails.
I get the popcorn. I like to I'll like eat half of it, and then I will throw in the like it's either like the Nestle Crunch things, like the little, basically as long as it's like little chocolate balls with like peanuts in the middle. I think sometimes like movie theaters will have like a Nestle Crunch version. Other times they'll have Goobers. I'll like throw it in the bag and I'll shake it up so that I get like that salty sweet mix. I feel like that's the best movie theater snack. Okay, get the fuck out of here with your shitty nachos or or whatever the fuck.
Bitter cocktails instead of sweet ones.
Wow,
So,
a little bit
salty.
too much information at the end, but I'll take it. All right, Nadronic,
Mixed.
mixed,
I
mixed.
like it mixed.
Interesting.
Yes.
So,
Salty, yeah, I thought you would be.
Yeah, I thought you
Oh.
look salty.
Esther? Yeah, she does. Salty little devil.
Mixed, but good quality mixed.
Good quality mix. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
actually salted actually. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I like a salted popcorn. That's it for the Piersies. Thank you very much indeed. Great to have you guys on for the first time on Uncensored. Critical Drinker and Nadronic, 2 hugely popular guys on YouTube, and I can see why. Thank you very much. And to Ava and Esther, thank you both very much. And a final thought, really, that Barbie got what it deserved last night.
Absolutely.
The man had the
Yes.
last laugh. Thank God for Ken.
Oh
Thank
my
you all.
god. Sure. It's like it's actually like really funny because it's just like at the end of the day, like Greta Gerwig directed the performance. I mean, that's just like such a weird like. I mean, I think he's kidding at the end there, but it's like when they go on these like weird soy rants about how like Barbie was like a man-hating movie. I'm just like, are you guys okay? Like, what is? And I don't understand how people completely misunderstand that movie. It's just like so weird. But I don't know. Cringe all around, really, with that video. I feel like I don't know that anybody came off looking like particularly great there. Although I guess like Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic, actually, I don't think. Am I misremembering? I don't think they said any. I don't think they were as cringe as like the other three. But it's also probably because they're just like normal people, like sitting in their rooms, and it feels like the two ladies, they feel like media trained fake personality people. And Piers maybe is also kind of in that cup as well, but maybe he's just like kind of a normie that didn't, I guess, wasn't able to analyze Barbie as well. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it's weird when people say that it's a man-hating movie. Genuinely don't understand how you can walk away with that perspective. But yeah, cringe video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Bye.